Dr. Wendy Osefo has always taken pride in her 4 degrees, her status as a professor, and her image as a Nigerian queen who has it all. But in 2026, that image has completely shattered under the weight of a 16-count criminal indictment that threatens to send the Real Housewives of Potomac star to prison for years. For seasons, we watched Wendy preach about substance over style and education over everything. The expectation was that Dr. Wendy and her husband Eddie Osefo were the gold standard of Black excellence in the Potomac Circle. But as of today, the reality is a high-stakes legal nightmare involving allegations of insurance fraud, rigged burglaries, and a paper trail of returned designer goods that would make even the most seasoned scammer blush. The world was told that in April 2024, while the Osefos were enjoying a luxury vacation in Jamaica, their Maryland mansion was ransacked by thieves who made off with nearly $500,000 in jewelry and handbags. We saw the social media posts about the trauma and the fear they felt returning to a violated home. But as we move through early 2026, a mountain of evidence suggests that the robbery never actually happened. According to a grand jury indictment handed down in Carroll County, Maryland on October 9, 2025, Wendy and Eddie Osefo allegedly fabricated the entire event to collect a massive insurance payout. Today, we are mapping the receipts, the leaked emails, and the money motives to answer 3 massive questions. How did the police catch Wendy wearing stolen jewelry on her own Instagram? Why were the Osefos desperately trying to max out their insurance by exactly $423,000? And what happens to Wendy's career now that she has resigned from her prestigious university position amidst these felony charges? We have the court filings, the surveillance logs, and the expert PR analysis that proves Wendy Osefo's biggest substance might actually be a criminal record. The most shocking part of this story isn't just the arrest, it's the sheer sloppiness of the alleged crime that contradicts everything Wendy stands for. According to the Carroll County Sheriff's Office in a statement released in October 2025, investigators became suspicious almost immediately after arriving at the Turnberry Court residence. The Osefos claimed the burglars entered through a second-story master bedroom window. However, forensic teams found no signs of forced entry, no footprints, and no fingerprints. Per the police report, the room was ransacked in a way that looked staged, with a mattress thrown from the bed in a dramatic fashion that didn't match typical burglary patterns. This leads us to the first major payout, the social media smoking gun. Just weeks after reporting her diamond anniversary ring stolen, Wendy posted a photo on Instagram wearing that exact same ring. According to authorities, this slip-up was the catalyst for a full-scale fraud investigation. But the real receipts were found in the digital paper trail that Eddie Osefo allegedly left behind. While Wendy was playing the victim on camera, her husband was allegedly writing the script for their payout in his private communications. According to court documents obtained by WABL on October 10, 2025, investigators found an email from Eddie to Wendy that read, "Are there additional high-value items we can add to this inventory list? I'm trying to get the total to exceed $423,000, which is our policy maximum." This email is the literal definition of a smoking gun in an insurance fraud case. It suggests a calculated effort to defraud their providers, Travelers Insurance and Homesite, by inflating losses to the absolute limit of their coverage. This confirms our title premise. The expectation was a tragic loss, but the reality was a desperate attempt to liquidate their closet into cash. The financial pressure on the Osefos appears to have been far greater than they ever let on during the show. In a December 2025 hearing, prosecutors revealed a mind-blowing detail about the couple's true financial state. According to court records, the state discovered that Wendy and Eddie possessed roughly 67 different debit and credit cards in their own names, their business entities, and even alleged aliases like Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy. According to a legal analysis by FindLaw on December 12, 2025, prosecutors are using these cards to establish a motive for the fraud, arguing that the couple was in substantial debt. If the Osefos were living a 5-star lifestyle on a 3-star budget, the insurance claim wasn't just a scam, it was a survival tactic to stay afloat in the high-priced world of Potomac. The timeline of Wendy's career collapse has been swift and unforgiving for someone with her academic pedigree. Per the Wesleyan Argus on October 14, 2025, Wendy was forced to resign from her role as a distinguished visiting professor at Wesleyan University just days after her arrest. While her PR team claimed it was a voluntary decision made to focus on her legal battle, sources within the university suggested that the institution was moving toward termination to protect its reputation. Think about the irony. A woman who teaches a class titled The Sociology of Reality TV has now become the ultimate case study in the genre's dark side. The payout here is that Wendy's academic credibility is effectively dead. You cannot teach ethics and social structures while facing 7 felony counts of insurance fraud and conspiracy. If you think the university resignation was bad, wait until you hear about the returned goods receipts that surfaced during the discovery process. According to the police investigation reported by CBS Baltimore, authorities discovered that roughly $20,000 worth of items the Osefos claimed were stolen had actually been returned to stores for full refunds long before the alleged burglary ever happened. Per the indictment, this included a Dior shirt returned in 2023 and a Gucci wallet returned all the way back in 2018. This is the ultimate receipt of fraud. You cannot claim an item was stolen from your home in 2024 if you gave it back to the store 6 years ago for cash. This level of alleged deception suggests that the Osefos weren't just opportunistic, they were systematic in their approach to fabrication, believing their status as reality stars made them untouchable. As we move into early 2026, the tension between Wendy and her Potomac cast members has reached a fever pitch, with the show's future hanging in the balance. According to reports from the Season 10 reunion taping, cast members like Nneka Ehim have felt completely vindicated. Nneka had previously hinted on camera that the Osefos were not who they claimed to be, a comment that sparked a season-long feud over cultural disrespect. Per a Reddit update on December 20th, 2025, viewers are now revisiting those episodes with a new lens, realizing that the Zen Wen persona was a shield used to deflect from the very real legal heat mounting behind the scenes. The payout for the viewers is the realization that the drama we see on screen is often a distraction from the crimes happening off camera. The scale of the alleged fraud is massive, involving multiple insurance companies to maximize the payout. According to the Carroll County State's attorney, Wendy and Eddie allegedly filed 3 separate claims on the same day in April 2024. They targeted Travelers Insurance, Jewelers Mutual Insurance, and Homesite Insurance Company. The state alleges they even successfully received over $25,000 from Travelers before the investigation caught up with them. This payout included $4,500 specifically for the diamond anniversary ring that Wendy was later seen wearing on social media. This level of double-dipping and direct evidence is what makes this case so devastating for the defense. So, what is the insider takeaway from this epidemic of reality TV fraud that seems to be sweeping through the Bravo universe? It's that the lifestyle porn we see on our screens is often funded by a house of cards that requires constant, sometimes illegal, maintenance. The Osefos aren't the first, and they won't be the last to fall into the trap of trying to keep up with the imaginary wealth of their co-stars. According to a PR strategist interviewed at BravoCon 2025, the curse of the Real Housewives is often just the IRS and insurance investigators finally catching up to the footage that the stars themselves provided. When you put your life on a pedestal for millions to see, you are also giving the government a front row seat to your inconsistencies and your financial desperation. The legal stakes for Wendy Osefo are incredibly high, far exceeding the typical slap on the wrist. Per Maryland law, insurance fraud of anything in excess of $300 is a felony that carries a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison. With 7 felony counts on the table, Wendy is facing a combined potential sentence that could keep her away from her 3 children for decades. According to People magazine, her defense team is currently trying to have the business bank records suppressed, claiming the state is on a fishing expedition. However, with physical receipts of returned items and incriminating incriminating emails already in evidence, legal experts say the state's case is exceptionally strong. So, in summary, Wendy Osefo's reality has finally caught up to her expectations. She expected the world to see a high-achieving, untouchable academic, but the reality is a woman accused of staging a home invasion to pay off her credit cards and sustain a luxury image. The receipts show a pattern of returns, the emails show a plan for fraud, and the Instagram posts show the stolen jewelry still on her finger. Wendy proved that you can have 4 degrees and still be the one who fails the most basic test of all. Don't post evidence of your own crime online. This isn't just a fall of grace, it's a complete dismantling of a carefully crafted identity. The fallout of this entire package is the understanding that Wendy's story is the ultimate cautionary tale of the modern influencer era. It's a story about the pressure to perform wealth and the length some will go to maintain a narrative that isn't true. Wendy is currently awaiting her trial, which is scheduled for April 2026 in Carroll County, and the outcome will determine if her next home is a mansion in Potomac or a cell in the Maryland correctional system. To understand how other housewives are currently balancing their bank accounts against their reputations, you need to see the bigger picture of the Bravo legal playbook. The state's case isn't just about one ring or one email. It's about a pattern of behavior that prosecutors say spanned nearly a decade. During the December hearing, it was noted that the state is seeking records going back to 2010 to show a pattern of purchasing luxury goods and then returning them for quick cash. This suggests that the Osefos may have been using high-end retailers as a personal loan service for years. If this pattern is proven in court, it would paint Wendy as a serial fraudster rather than a one-time offender, making a prison sentence almost a certainty. As we wrap up this investigation, one thing is clear. The degrees and the titles didn't protect Wendy Osefo from the consequences of her own actions. In fact, her academic background has only made the public's reaction more critical. Fans feel betrayed by a woman who looked down on others for not having her level of education, only to allegedly engage in such a clumsy and transparent scheme. The receipts don't lie, and they tell a story of a woman who was desperate to keep up appearances at any cost. If you want to know which other Potomac stars are currently under the microscope and who might be the next to face a grand jury for their financial secrets, you have to watch the Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist next. It is the essential next step to seeing the patterns of celebrity desperation before the police do. We have mapped out the entire Bravo legal landscape, showing you exactly who is thriving and who is just one Instagram post away from a 16-count indictment. Don't miss the next chapter in the Potomac Breakdown by clicking the playlist on your screen now. This story is just getting started, and you need to be ahead of the curve.